Hello. In today's session, we will discuss the two most common topics when it comes to meal preparation, mealtime, and eating. First, let's take a look at meal preparation. This is a common challenge we see that people often face. My mom used to cook for the family every night. It was an activity she enjoyed doing, but now, since being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, she struggles to participate in any mealtime activities. Any ideas on how I can help her? Well, we know that involving the person in mealtime activities has many benefits for their cognitive health because of all of the areas of their body it utilizes and the purpose it provides them with. The good news is there are many strategies to implement that allows your loved one to participate in meal preparation tasks once again. Steps of a task, attention to tasks, fine and gross motor skills, sensory stimulation, language, socialization, reminiscence, as well as familiar roles and routines will all be addressed in this lesson. And I promise you, it's easier than you think. Let's get started. First, I want you to invite the person to participate. I know it's easy to assume that just because a person has a cognitive impairment, they can no longer do everyday tasks. But that's just not true. They want to feel needed and live with purpose. One way to ensure they continue to meet this goal is involving them in meal preparation. To start, pose the invitation, saying something like, I'm going to make an afternoon snack. Would you like to join me? If they say no, you could ask them if they would like to sit and keep you company. This helps to take the pressure off of them, and they may join in on the task later. I want to note that it's important you try to plan meals and snacks that you know that they love and have fond memories with. For a second step, I want you to demonstrate and then observe. First, let them watch you do the task. So, for example, you could peel a potato and then ask them if they would like to try it. When you are observing them, I want you to ask yourself some questions. Does the person have difficulty handling the items in their hands? Do they have poor fine motor skills? Do they need that adaptive equipment, again, those tools to help them make the handling of a task easier? Would they benefit from a vegetable chopper or an adapted can opener, as shown on this slide? Just search adapted kitchen tools, and there are plenty of affordable options for various kitchen tasks that will come up. Do they have trouble seeing the task correctly? Do they need to wear their glasses to see more clearly? If they're forgetting to remember where their glasses are, keep them in a visible spot and practice repetition, retrieving them from the same spot so that they can become familiar with where it's at. Is there adequate lighting in the area? Maybe place a lamp at the table to help them see more clearly. Take a look at where they're sitting. Is there bright light coming in from the room? Place blinds over the windows to help reduce this issue. Label items using a label maker in a bright color so that they can see and read the items more clearly. Label the front of cupboards and the shelves to make items easy to find. Remove clutter and place commonly used items on the tabletop. Are they having trouble with the steps of a task? Maybe they need step-by-step directions. You could use a whiteboard to write simple and clear instructions of the task in front of them while they're doing it. The third step is to keep it routine. Have them help you with a meal or a snack at the same time every day. You could make visual reminders or memory aids on frequently looked at items, such as a calendar or placing post-it notes around the room or putting it in a planner, stating something like, make dinner at 4, afternoon snack at 2. Now that we've addressed meal preparation, I want to briefly touch on eating because this is another major part of meal times, and I have some tips to share that I think will increase the person's healthy food consumption. We get a lot of questions like this. I'm having a hard time getting my mom to eat during meal times since her cognitive decline. It seems that she is unmotivated to eat. Any suggestions on how I can improve her consumption during meal times? First, keep mealtime consistent. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner should be at the same time every day. Again, utilize those memory aids to help remind the person of daily meal times. I want you to consider, what about meal times is difficult for them? Do they wear dentures? Are they causing them pain? Maybe they need new adhesive or they need to be refitted. Are they having trouble smelling and tasting the food? Involving them in meal preparation will help them to feel more connected to the experience of eating these as these senses are lost. Be descriptive and positive about the food you are smelling. Do they have trouble recognizing the food? Be descriptive in instructions and make conversation around the food to help them understand what they're eating. Do they have trouble initiating or completing the task? Maybe they need those verbal instructions or visual demonstrations. Again, using a visual guide of step by step instructions and placing it in front of them can help to increase the independence with the task. Do they need hand over hand assistance or help cutting the food items to increase participation as well? These are just a few things to consider while you're participating in the activity with them. I want to talk about some additional tips that are helpful when it comes to eating. First, limit the number of unhealthy snacks, sugary foods, and beverages in the home. These factors can really decrease the appetite for nutrient dense meals. Turn off the TV to decrease distractions, allowing them to focus on the meal in front of them. Make sure the room is well lit and the blinds are open, as long as it's not causing any glare. Allow them to pour their own beverages if they can, but only fill the pitcher halfway to make it easier for them to pour. It's important to also consider their food preferences and plan meals around food items that you know they will enjoy, as we've talked about before. Provide them with meal choices, saying something like, "Would you like to have pasta or chicken and rice for dinner?" Or, "Would you prefer orange juice or coffee with your breakfast?" If possible, avoid making them take medication with food because it will make it a less pleasurable activity for them. Lay out healthy snacks on the counter throughout the day. Provide contrasting color when setting the table to make it easier for them to see. Don't put too many food items on the plate and make conversation with them, saying something like, "This soup is very delicious and comforting on this cold winter day." Talk about what the food reminds you of or the flavors that you enjoy tasting. Begin by trying just one or two of these simple steps at home with your loved one. Considering these aspects of mealtime and implementing these strategies into your daily routine as a care partner will be impactful because the person will be able to engage in an important everyday role as well as bring them purpose, increased independence, and engagement. Although these techniques and considerations take some time, I know it will bring you, as the care partner, decreased stress and increased joy seeing your loved one become more involved in everyday activities that are meaningful to the both of you. Check out the handouts provided in this lesson for some activity tips and ideas that you and your loved one can do together. You don't want to miss the meal preparation activities we have created for you. As always, thank you so much for watching.